Welcome to Chopping It Up. You know who it is. It's your boy Leo. As always, we got the co-host. Holla at him for the one time.
It's B. Well, it's Mr. Laker. We're gonna just lean right into that, Mr. Laker. See it behind there. Let's add another one this year, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, he ain't had nothing, but we not here to discuss that. Y'all see what it is. We got a special guest, but I gotta make sure I do this correctly. So lock in with your boy. We've got a powerhouse staple representing for the women and girls all over that love football. I'm talking a dedicated mom of four, multifaceted. Yes, you heard that right. Mom of four, handling business like there's no tomorrow. From social media influencer, TV and radio show host, professional wide receiver, and vice president of the DC Divas, rocking her own gear. Oh, yes, we gotta always love the plugs in there. Lois is also a stadium host for the UFL and WFA. And for you that don't know, that's the Women's Football Alliance, plus an MC, sideline reporter. Take a breath and make sure you get it all in. She is featured annually with ESPN2 for the WFA Championship, has played for the Atlanta Leopards, and of course, the DC Divas. I want to get a big round of applause for the phenomenal, beautiful, dominating, devastating Lois Cook, baby.
Wow. Thank you, thank you. If I had that every morning when I woke up, I mean, what could I do?
Hey, we can always send a recording in. We got you. We got your back always.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Definitely thank you for having you on. I just got to jump in because I really want everybody to understand. I've had the benefit of talking to you a couple of times, but who is Lois Cook? Let our viewers know exactly what's going on. Chop it up.
Listen, I mean, I'm just a girl who loves football, okay? I like to hit people and not get in trouble for it. I love the game of football. I love to empower women and girls in this sport because there is nothing that we can't do. I'm very passionate about everything that I set myself into, and one of the main things, obviously, is football. But it has become my life's mission, my life's journey, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
That is awesome. And that is for anyone that has ever played the game of football. That is a true football player. Hey, yeah, let me hit somebody and not go to jail. That is what I'm talking about.
It's something about the in between the lines, the freedom that it gives you. You get to push people, pull people, jump on people. Yes, thank you. Sign me up.
There we go.
Sports, man. So you need that release. It's natural. That's a natural. So, as far as football, how did you get started? Have you always been a fan of football, or did you grow up watching it, or is it something that you were an athlete before and got into it afterwards?
Yeah, okay. So I grew up with my brother. He's he's only 11 months older than I am. So my grandmother was like, anything he does, you got to take your sister with you. So I followed him everywhere. I actually was born with a hole in my heart, and so I had open heart surgery at the age of 2. So my grandparents were a little bit more protective. Like they didn't want me to be out here playing football and playing with the boys, but I stayed up under my brother, and of course it happened. So one fine day in the neighborhood, we were jumping on people, pushing people, pulling people, and I was like, this is my thing. I love this. So I went to high school, and that was the first time I was introduced to organized football, a team. And I told the coach, I was like, look, this is my thing. I play football. I know how to do this. I want to play. And he's like, no. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I ended up just pretty much, and at that time there was no other girls that played, so I really accepted that as the norm. And so I ended up just being so obsessed with the sport. I carried that. I watched everything the boys did. He said the boys that played football, they had to run track, so I ran track. The quarterback had to carry the ball around school. That on game day they wore their jerseys. I carried a ball everywhere that I went. So I went to Clark Atlanta University, had the ball, walking up and down the promenade, walking up and down to and from class, throwing the ball to random strangers. They're entertaining it, catching the ball, throwing it back. And one fine day, the security guard on campus, he pulled me to the side. He's like, okay, let's talk. So he actually ended up being the head coach of the women's team there in Atlanta. So he recruited me as the quarterback. So I played for Atlanta for 2 years as a quarterback. Boy, I had no line. I remember having, oh my goodness, I was fighting for my life. But when I came back home to DC, I found the Divas. I Googled them, and I've been with them ever since.
That is phenomenal.
Nice.
But yeah, having no line, Yeah, my
Yeah, it
quarterback
was
knew a
rough.
little bit about that this past Super Bowl. It was a little bit rough.
Oh.
Deserved. It's been.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
this is not bash Mahomes time, okay? We are not going to be doing that on
I
this
mean, it
one.
could be who are you a fan of? This could be. We could pile on real quick.
wait. You know where I'm at. DC all day.
Okay, so Jaden Daniels, you got a supporter. I mean, y'all putting some
I
pieces around him, so it's nice to
so
see that.
and like I'm out here. We're in Southern Cal, and we have no bad words to say to Jaden. Keep going.
Oh no, it's
And you got
respect
my
all
boy.
day
You guys
long.
gotta be nice. You gotta be nice to my boy Debo out there. You guys got him. We got.
You gonna be okay? Yeah. Well, we happy to have him. Welcome home.
So we talked about this yesterday, and I told you I was going to ask you this question. I wanted you to think about it. So, is there a player or is there a position that you're like, you know what, y'all need to go address this because this is going to get us over the top?
Um, okay, so I mean, I love the fact that we have the flexibility to do whatever we want, pretty much.
You do.
But I think O line is always the starting point. I feel like O line really sets the tone. So paying attention there is going to take us a long way. I think you really can't get far without a solid, strong O line. So that's where I'm at with it.
Oh no, I understand. And building the trenches, there's a couple
Yeah,
of offensive
that's
tackles that are
fundamental.
projected.
Yes.
No, yeah. So, how have injuries affected how you see the game, play the game, have fun with the game? How have they affected you?
So okay, so I've definitely been injured over the years. I've broken quite a few of my fingers. I've played on broken fingers. I've broken my ankle, tibia, fibula, all at once. Um, and I feel like it's mind over matter. To be honest with you, I remember breaking my ankle, tibia, fibula. That was man, I wish I could say like the girl threw me up in the air, spun me around, dropped me on the floor and everything else, but it was really just a quick tackle. And next thing you know, pop. I thought it was sprained, but I remember being like right after that game being stopped completely, right? Like they're like everything I knew came to a halt. But I was in the mindset of I was so determined to get back on the field. I didn't do physical therapy. I came right back. As soon as I could bear weight on my leg, I started going up and down the stairs. So it really was a mindset thing for me. Um, and it didn't really hold me back. I remember breaking my finger. I broke my pinky one year, and I re-broke it the same year, like a couple months later, because I didn't buddy tape it. So I re-broke it. I just remember this feeling of like shattered because it was like I just couldn't take the thought of going back through like the stopping the game for an injury. It was very overwhelming. I just remember that, but it was again that mindset. If to me, it's all about like where you put your thought, because in that moment it defeated me. With my pinky, my ankle did not. My ankle, I was like, no, what we got to do? Let's go. But with my pinky, it was like, dang, I got to go back through this again. I'm really looking forward to this season. I want to make something happen. Blah blah blah. And then it was like, not again. I even cried. I was like crying at practice because as soon as I hit it, I knew it was broken. I was like, dang it, man. So, but my teammate pulled me to the side and she was like, you really gotta. She just lifted me up. I can't even remember the exact words, but I remember just like about being intentional, and she just talked me through it, and it did change my mind. At the same time, I mean, I still had to sit out. I still had to wrap it up and everything else, but it's mindset. I mean, injury is part of the game. So, and you got to be a little bit crazy to play football anyway. So, it's part of the game, but it's all about how you look at it. When you get injured, once you stop, you can still go mentally. You still, it's not the end of the day. Sometimes, unfortunately, it might be, but it's mindset. You got to pick yourself up. You got to be intentional about how you talk to yourself and how you look for that outcome.
No, definitely. But I'm sorry, you left me with a couple questions here. So I thought it was sprain. That's a whole lot of breakage to think there's a sprain. We did not attempt to
Okay.
try this afterwards. Like you weren't sitting there trying to limp on the field. Please tell me not. If not, I need
What
video.
happened was, okay, so literally
Oh,
a week before that happened, I sprained my ankle, the other foot, right? I sprained it. It might have been 2 weeks because I think I had like a week to like recover from it. And so when it happened, I told you it wasn't like somebody like threw me up in the air, slam dunked me. It wasn't nothing like that. So she just tackled me, and I felt the pop. But the pop to me was like I think I was in denial. The pop to me was like it's just sprained, girl. It's all right. So I'm laying on the ground. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can. And I remember my teammate came over to help me up. So I was like, wait a minute, I think I gotta lay back down. And so the trainer comes over. She's feeling it. She's like, she's doing her little thing, feeling my bones and everything. And she's like, I think she said a fibular fracture. Like that was her words. And in my mind, I know what a fracture means, but I was like, oh, it's just sprained. It's all right. We're gonna, it's good. So I think it was just, I was in denial. I couldn't believe that happened.
So
But
you're
shoot,
hard
that
headed.
was
Got it.
yeah.
She's like,
But when
nope.
I got
yeah.
like
The trainer is playing with those non-bones, saying like, "Hey, it's broken, not sprained. We're good.
like
We're good."
fracture, whatever.
I mean, like you said, it's mindset. Playing football takes a
Yeah.
different mindset because you know you're going to be dealing with things on a daily basis. Getting out of bed is not always easy.
Right.
But yeah, that list, I'm sitting there like, she's still talking about these injuries. Goodness gracious. My whole
Yeah.
left side is reconstructed, and you got me still sitting there going, ooh,
I
okay.
mean, and there's the thing though, like about football, and this is what when people are young in the game, they first coming in, you got to figure out: are you hurt or are you injured? There is a difference between the two, and
Big
a lot of
facts.
people don't realize that.
Yep.
So it's definitely mindset because sometimes, and I'm much older now. I mean, I know I only look like I'm 18, but I know I'm much older now, so when I get hit, I'm on the ground for a minute. I have to tell you, I kind of take a little second to get up. I got to make sure it's all there.
Should be contemplating, all right, is this the hit that took me out? I'm not out. She's over there looking like Alex
Okay,
Smith and
Right. Right.
Theismann over there.
okay, I'm good. Let's go.
Whoa, and DC. Oh God, why would you say?
That's exact. See, she missed that one, but that was
I
exactly
did.
why I
I was
said that.
counting. I was counting on limbs. I was counting. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I
missed
said you out
it.
there looking like Alex Smith and Joe Theismann out there.
Oh, oh. Okay.
All right.
But I mean,
You said now with the mindset. So like, what do you say, Leo?
oh no, go ahead on that. I want to run with this.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say with the mindset. So my son, he gets hurt, he gets injured. He says, "Oh, this is that. I can't keep going." He's a basketball player. Like with you having kids with that mindset of injuries and things like that, do you let them play football? Are you gonna let them play football, or are you
Yeah,
like, nah, don't walk off with these sprains?
well, yeah, I think they should play. I think they should play. I got 4 sons, and I guess I get nervous. I don't want them to get hurt, but it's what it's more than physical when it comes to sports, right? You get social skills, you get the leadership, you get the confidence, you get discipline from it. I think you get so much more from sports than just the physical side, and that it is risking injury, but how often is the injuries? So I think, I don't want to take away from, the sport just because I'm afraid, right? You don't want to step into anything. You should never let fear dictate what you do.
All right, so I just got one question from there. Which type of fan are you? Are you the crazy mom that's like, hey, I play, go get him, sick him, all that? Or are you more sitting back like, oh, y'all better not hit my baby. I promise you, I'm going to come get you.
I'm gonna be down on the field. I'm gonna be right there next to the referee. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, ref? No, I feel like I've been felt. So what's interesting is I actually travel the country to visit young girls who play football. Usually they're the only girl on the field with the boys, and I take my helmet with me to show them, they're the only girl, but they're not alone. And usually in those spaces, I feel like I'm kind of quiet where I should be really vocal. Like I talk to the girls before and after and all, stuff like that. But during the game, I'm really watching. I'm really, kind of keying in, trying to take back like what can I talk to them and mentor them on, or just coach them up on. So I feel like I have seen myself being very quiet, but there are some sounds that come out when I start to yell. So it just depends on the day, I guess.
He's sitting there. Hey, mom, calm down. Yeah, we heard you,
Right.
mom. Yeah, that's my mama. I'm
I'm like,
sorry.
put
Heard,
me
Mom, don't
in,
be on the
coach.
field with
Put
us.
me in.
Oh, Mom, get off the field.
Right. I'm gonna be the one at practice taking over the practice. I'm gonna be like, no, this is how you do it now. So
Well, I mean, that speaks to itself because a little birdie told me you're not just an athlete, that there is some coaching in the background, maybe an undefeated season, a little bit of dominance.
okay.
So chop it up and tell me something about that.
Remember, so I went to high school and I wanted to play, and they told me no. Well, I ended up going back to that same team, and I was able to coach the boys, and we went undefeated for the first time in 45 years. So for me, like joining that team, it took me 25 years to join that team, and I think there was no better time for me to join it than right then and there. And I had so much fun. Actually, from coaching the high school, I was able to go on to coach at the NFL Alumni Academy. So I actually was able to coach some of the free agents of the NFL. That was probably the best experience I've ever had. I absolutely love coaching. I think it takes so much time and investment, but there's so much reward that comes from it.
You gotta love the little subtle flex right there. Just, hey, I showed up, we went undefeated. Then we go to the NFL. I'm gonna help some of them out too. Just we step on this
You
and you know what I
know,
do.
we had a good
Yeah,
little squad.
we broke a 50-year curse. We're undefeated.
Right.
Nothing too major, just some light work.
You
Looked
know.
at the coach that told me I couldn't play to their face and said, "Look now."
Yeah, look at us now. How you like that?
So you got 3 titles in 40 years. I got 1 and 1. I think my math is a little bit better.
Right. Boom. Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. I
I
think
love to
it
hear.
is something that, like I said, like it takes so much time that I want to go back to coaching, but right now I don't think that's my lane. I want to do that, later. But because it once you're in it, I think once you get locked in, like as a coach, you're locked in, right? So there's just a lot more that I want to be able to do before I do that.
Oh no,
But
100%. I've coached for 20 years, and yes, when you're locked in, you got a whole nother football team. You got a whole nother 50 kids. Enjoy.
yeah,
You got a whole lot to lock in and deal with. So, and with your schedule, I mean, we already went through that introduction. I don't think adding nothing else on there gonna really be feasible. She gonna go home and be like, "Who's that?" Oh, that's mom. Yeah, she used to live here. Now she just goes
she
wherever
used
she
to live
wants.
here. Exactly.
She rests
We go
now.
see
She just rests, takes naps, and then
She just pays the bills, make sure there's food in the grocery. That's
right,
it.
right. We look at her pictures on social media.
okay. All right. The next thing we want to ask about the football her. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. So basically, after kind of taking off on social media, I got a lot of response from a whole lot of girls. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of girls across the country that would just DM me, reach out to me. They wanted me to come to their games, and I was all in. And I just seeing the feedback from them made me realize that there was so much more I needed to do for this sport. I had a bigger responsibility. So I used to play football selfishly because that's the sport that I love. I wanted to play for me, but then it converted to me playing for the next generation. That they should have better opportunities in this game. And so with football, her this was in 2019. I decided to do more with it. I decided to just kind of build up. Actually, what happened was I did a competition, Miss Health and Fitness competition. And with the competition, I was asking people to vote for me. I would be on the face of a magazine. I would get $20,000 as the grand prize. And so I was asking people to support me in this. And what I wanted to do with the winning was to create a foundation to put back into the game. I didn't win the competition. I actually came into the semifinals, but for me, it wasn't a loss at all. I was like, okay, let's do this. So with that combined, the amount of support that I got from the competition, all the votes that I got, I mean, still to this day, I'm so grateful for that. But with that, and also with all the girls who had reached out to me on social media, I just knew like there was so much more work to be done. And so it's pretty much that's what I've dedicated my life to. That's my full time thing, just to empower the next generation, to mentor, to educate not just the girls, but the boys, that girls do belong in the sport as well. And just to provide opportunity, equipment, cleats, shoulder pads, whatever they need to just be that, extra resource for them.
Okay. And if we want to support Football Her, how can we go about doing that?
So yeah, so actually we have a really, really like the biggest initiative so far right now is a big cleat drive. Actually, DCPS high school girls in flag football are lacking cleats, and that's one thing that has is affecting participation. So we are going to provide cleats to all of the girls. And with that, you can just go to Cleats and Stilettos, which is my social media, but footballher.com is the actual website.
Okay, so footballher.com. Our fan base definitely does like the support. So, hey, lock in people and let's help out with the cleat drive. Let's do something to show some love.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Leo, hit some sound effects on that. Paying it forward, and that's we love that. Love
Hey,
that. Paying it forward for the youth. Leo mentioned he coached a little bit. I coached a little bit just for like our kids and stuff because it's important to teach those, get those messages, pushing it forward. Leave it better than
Yeah,
how we got it. I love that. That's
yeah, 100%. That's one of the biggest thing I tell the girls. Like whatever you set yourself into, whatever you step into, if it's football or anything else, make it better than when you came. So be an impact. I like to say, hit somebody, not physically, but hit somebody with your love, your talents, your passion. Hit somebody with everything that you are, and make it better than when you first came in.
okay, I like that. And I mean, that kind of goes into this hashtag that I saw, and I'm gonna have you tell me about it because I don't know too much, but hashtag women's tackle football. That I mean, it speaks for itself, but at the same time, talk to us about the meaning and everything there.
Yeah, so okay, so when I so back in the day, a little bit, when I started to take to social media to show the girls, like I would do empowerment videos, I would transition from my uniform to a dress, I would show them me on the field, and I would use this hashtag women's tackle football. And using that just to show that we're out here too, that if you want to play this sport, you can. And it's not just football, you could play anything, any sport that you want to play. But started using that hashtag, and I looked at it after a little while, and I said, when I first started using it, it only had about 1,500 views on it. It was like maybe 1,501 to be exact.
Okay.
And so I started to screenshot it as the years have went on. But within 6 months, it went to 6 million views. And that was from me consistently using that hashtag with all of my videos to show girls and boys and women and men that, we're out here. And then today it is over 66 million views. And that's contribute, just from all of the support with other people using the hashtag, people watching, pulling up, looking for women's tackle football. Social media has been really a big tool, a big vehicle to show the world who we are. And that hashtag, I'm grateful that I even have the screenshots to go back and look at, because to me that's just a testament of where we can go.
Oh, definitely 66. Yes,
yeah.
that is amazing. And
One more. Here we
we could break that down. I
Yeah.
mean, I've coached track and field, and I have a lot of female athletes. I mean, just to shout out a few: Sophie, Issa, Mariana. Continue doing everything y'all doing. Alyssa, tap in with this message. This is literally saying, "Hey, I'm gonna follow my dreams and I'm gonna do what I do. Be dominant and just do you." I love that.
Yes, ball out. Yep.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on that.
With all of everything that you do, that you've been doing within the sport, outside of the sport, the hashtags, the different groups, have you seen like a difference? Are you seeing the your actions make differences? And tell us about that a little bit.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So when I first started playing football, back in the day, it was like, football, you mean soccer, you mean lingerie, and now today people will. I can't go nowhere. Somebody, people recognize me, or if I say I play football, they're like, "Oh, you play with the Divas? I know them. I watch them." Blah, blah, blah. So I can visibly see the difference from then to now and how this sport has grown. But you also see now flag football taking off, right? Like you see that it's in the Olympics. It's girls can get scholarships for this sport. So the growth is absolutely there, and the participation is there. Like once we did I'm all over the place because I'm passionate about it. But so we created a girls high school flag football in Loudoun County, Virginia, the first ever. And the first week, I believe we had about 50 girls who signed up. In a week, there were 150 girls. So once they see that those other girls are out there doing it, once they see that they can do it, they want to do it. So the growth is there. It's been tremendous from my perspective. I've of course been in it for ages and ages, but you could see it even if you haven't been in it since the dinosaur years. You could see it today with the fact that it's in the Olympics, it's in colleges, and of course, tackle football. We're on ESPN2. We're also on AWSN, the new all women's sports network. We're televised. We're out here, and there's over 60 teams across the country in my league alone that play women's tackle football. It's also global, but we're all over the place.
No, definitely love the growth of women's sports. I mean, I've talked about the W. Track and field is always going to be one of the biggest passions for me. So I've talked about Sydney last time, thinking about Allison Felix, thinking about the different jumps that have happened. I love just seeing the growth. I love seeing now like you said, it's not just, oh, the lingerie football league. It's not just this and that. Like you have stories. So coming on platforms like this, having your own show, things like that, and really expressing those stories, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I have to say, really, thank you for having me on. Thank you for even just, being a platform for women to present themselves and to share their stories. Because here's the thing about women. You know who LeBron James is without knowing about basketball, but you don't know who I could say Allie Hamlin. You don't know who she is because her story's not out there. But she was one of the top quarterbacks in the WFA. You know what I'm saying? So there's all these women, the amazing, spectacular women out here, phenomenal, that you just don't know their stories. So when we're able to amplify our voices with platforms like yours and all over the place, then those other young little girls know that they don't have to take that no for an answer. It's just a not right now. I can still reach for it. I can still go get it. As long as I work hard for it, it's there.
No, definitely on that one. And I mean, shout out to Icebox for everybody that went to school with me. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Anna Lee was that girl. She was on the field with the guys. She played as a freshman, played as a sophomore. She was a linebacker. She was about that work. So respect is through and through. And I love having that ability for you guys to have this platform and do exactly what you need to do and what you want to do. So express it out 100%. But I got to find out because, I mean, we see the growth you've had. The next couple of years, we can say 2, 3, 4 years, whatever time frame you're looking at. What's your goal? What are you looking for? What are you trying to accomplish? What's a catalyst that's going to help you to get there?
Well, my goal is to one day retire because I seem to not know how to do that. So I'd
Yeah, I
like
can
to
tell that.
start playing. But no, seriously, we need to be on mainstream sports. We need to be right there with on ESPN. We're on ESPN2, so we're grateful for that. But ESPN, we need to be one of the talked about sports. The women need to be paid. We're not paid to play. If you have sponsors, if you're able to get NIL deals or things like that, you are able to compensate. But women typically have to work a full-time job outside of playing the sport. And when you do that, you take away from the peak performance. Now women are worried about, oh, I better not get hurt because I got to go to work the next day, or I got to pay extra expenses for the chiropractor or the medical bills that now all of a sudden that I have to have. I have to pay for the child care because we practice at night. All the things that come with this sport. If we don't have to worry about that, we can worry about our performance on the field, the things that matter. Like we can worry about winning games and bettering ourselves as athletes. When we're able to do that, you get a better product overall. But right now, you have a great product. You have an amazing product. The women are out here hitting. They're talented and phenomenal athletes, putting in all this work despite the barriers that we face, despite all the challenges and the hurdles that we have to overcome. So I want to see more support in women's sports. Those major sponsors that support the NFL and all the other men's teams, a fraction of that money that goes towards the men could make a game-changing difference for the women.
No, hugely. And I mean, we're seeing that publicly with the WNBA. I'm glad that a lot of them don't have to go overseas as much. The Brittany Griner situation, a lot of people heard about that, knew what was going on. The only reason that happened was because they don't get paid. So in their off season, they had to go play overseas. But now you have Unrivaled and things like that where they have platforms and ability to get paid. Paige Buckers, she's going to get paid more with Unrivaled in the first year than she's going to get paid in her first contract in the W. So I see those issues that you talked about, and the fact you said 60 teams in your league playing, like that's phenomenal. I remember a point where you probably had 8 teams if you were lucky, and having a job. Yeah, you would definitely got to have a full-time job. Y'all were basically paying to play. So
yep.
No, the growth is definitely there.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much cost that go, the field usage, the referees, the equipment, the uniforms, all the costs that go into it. We have nothing really to offset that. So and for me, I've been able to fare very well because I've put myself out there. I've been able to market myself and brand myself as an athlete online. So I've been able to get sponsorships. I've been able to pull in some good dollars so that I can focus on my sport. Like I do what I love, and other women, they're not necessarily salespeople. They don't want to be front and center on the camera, so it shouldn't matter. That part of it shouldn't matter. Their talent should speak for themselves. It shouldn't be, who's the loudest voice, who's the biggest face on a billboard. Like it should be the talent that speaks for those athletes and what they get from it.
No, I 100% agree. And for those who may not fully understand it, or you're trying to wrap your head around that statement in its entirety, as she said, you know who LeBron James is, you know who Tom Brady is, you know who Patrick Mahomes is. All of you don't know some of these younger quarterbacks, younger guards in the league that they're still making 10, 15, $20 million to play their sport. And they don't have to do commercials. They don't have to be in the forefront. They just play the game. I'm not a public person. I can just do this and go home. So that's the point of saying, yes, not asking for the number to be the exact same, but let's be realistic about here. They're playing and giving you a good product. So if they're going to give a good product, let's take care of them.
And I don't get to provide for my family from doing this, so that's another part of it too. Like we're women, we have kids. We don't have the luxury of like using this to take care of our families. We bring our kids to practice. Fortunately, we're all women that play because we're able to have that close, knit kind of motherly, environment where it's comfortable enough and safe enough to bring our kids. But that's just kind of another level to it that the men don't necessarily have. And I'm not taking away from the fathers, but it's very real for mothers who may not have, anywhere for their kids to go, or just not be able to provide for their families in that way because this sport doesn't do it.
No,
but it should.
No argument for me. I see B Will's ready to drop something. Go get it, man.
No, I 100% agree with you. She's spitting out here. She's speaking facts. There's nothing that you can really deter on there. You're right. These people who say NBA, the 12th man on the bench is probably making the triple a star player in the W is making, to just sit there and get dunked on in practice. And it's just, it needs to get a little more evened out on there.
No, big facts. Big facts.
A 5% increase of a sponsorship would do wonders.
Even less than that. I mean, we broke down, like we did a whole thing about like the NFL, like in a Super Bowl commercial, like even if the amount of money that you would pay for a Super Bowl commercial, if you gave 1 second of that money, just 1 second to the women, it would change the game tremendously for us. So it really does matter. And all the women that I know play because we love this game. Our heart is in it. We play for the love of the game, genuinely and truly. We don't play for the money, but money does matter. And when we can't compensate ourselves, we can't Like I'll have these injuries that I have, these knees that I feel right now, I'm gonna be feeling these knees and back for years to come. But I'm not adequately compensated for my sport. And it is a product that we give out to the public. And it's not that we're playing for the money, but we just don't want to have to pay to play. We want to be able to play this sport fairly and with equity, just like the guys do.
No, definitely understand.
And the more people that learn this, the more people lock in. We just need the exposure. So our product speaks for itself. We know that once you see it, you're gonna love it.
So the product itself, when does your season start? Let's let everybody know.
All right, season is starting next weekend. Well, April 26th it starts. And then we run from April through July. So our championship is held July 27th at the Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. We have 6 regular season games, 2 playoffs, and you can go ahead and write down on your cards right now that you're going to see DC in the house on July 27th for the championship.
Hey, DC going to be out there, and you might see Choppin' It Up out there. We trying to figure it out. We want to get out there to Ohio, and we would love to do a little media for that week. Just enjoy it all.
That's right. Yes, we want you out there. Come out and do some commentary, some live action with the girls.
Hey, we'll do intros all day long. We'll get everybody hyped.
Right. I need that intro that you pulled out. That's going to be my game day pep talk every time.
Hey, my athletes will tell you, if there's one thing I can do, I can get you hyped. We can make this one work. But as I said, I appreciate having you on. I know you got to get out to head to practice. This was phenomenal. How can everybody tap in with you? I know you mentioned it earlier, but what's your social media again? I just want everybody to be able to see you and tap in.
Thank you so much for that. Cleats and stilettos. If you put cleats and, it'll pop up. But Lois Cook, cleats and stilettos. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. And of course, I play for the DC Divas, and the league is WFA.
There we go. Make sure you're tapping in. I will tag everything in the videos. The reels, of course, are popping up. I love it. We got the hearts going. That's so sweet. But as always, thank you for tapping in with us, chopping it up. It's your boy Leo, Lois. Thank you. B Will, Mr. Laker.
And a closing message from me. Hit somebody, okay? She said hit somebody. I loved it. That motto, hit somebody. All right.
Hit somebody.
Make sure you hit somebody, and thank you for chopping it up.